Welcome to this week's 52 Weeks of Scrapbooking. My name is Denise Cowell, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor in Ormond Beach, Florida. And welcome today. Today we're on 27. Let's just dump down to my desktop. I've been waiting to remake this one, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways to make it. So the original project recipe was using Citrus Summer back in June of 2019. I have to say, I really didn't like the Citrus Summer paper pack. I mean, it had, a lot of colors I don't normally use, but the pastel colors on the back are amazing. And let me show you the page I already have made with this. We're not even going to look in the book yet. We're going to look what I made first. And I'm going to remake this today. So this what is my two granddaughters, and this is what's so amazing about this is that these colors were perfect for this photo shoot. And this is the reverse colors, and this is what we're going to be making today. And I'm going to make this over again because I'm going to make one 2-page spread for each granddaughter. I have a lot of extra pictures, but I just loved the back. This was perfect to go with this ice creams and the water. So we're going to remake that. But let's take a look in the book. And this is using Holland scenes. This is using the Floral Peaks border. I am still going to be using the lace trim border, but you could also use a new scallop crochet. So anything that's got an edge on it, you could use that. And we're going to be doubling them up. What you're going to need, wait, sorry, before we get to that, let's look, make sure that they are cut the same, and they are. So what we're going to need is a 6 by 12 sheet of paper, which is going to be mats. Another one that you can do 6 by 12. This one here for G, I actually used a mat from the mat pack. So this way you can use two 6 by 12s, or if you like both sides of the paper, you can just use one sheet. This is going to be what we're going to make our little lace here, as well as these little banners. It calls for 2 banners and one 5 by 3. The 5 by 3, it was going to be like a little mat here, which I didn't use because I had a mat that had the words on it that went perfectly with this. So let's go and see. And actually this one here, I used a mat also over here. So we can change things up. One thing that you could do is, if you have a lot of mats left over and they all go together, you can actually just use 12 mats and set them all up 4 by 6, and then just get some borders. So if you've got lots of mats left, this is a great layout to use some mats that you have. So what do I have here? You're going to need 2 pieces of white cardstock to build everything on. So I have my 2 sheets of designer paper, and I'm actually going to use the paper version, which I have. I have my 2 sheets of 6 by 12. Now for designer paper number 3, I had some leftovers, so I don't have a whole sheet. So we're going to do our 3 borders, and then 3 5 by 3s, or 2 depending on what you do. So let's get started. And again, like I said, this is really easy, and if you just want to use 4 by 6 mats, and that's even going to be a lot quicker. And I love it as a way to get rid of mats in your mat pack. So let's put these down. This is old cardstock, so it's not quite 12 inches, but that's okay. So I don't know how long I was blurry for. I can't go back and check while I'm recording. So let's just recap in case I went blurry while you were watching. So I have designer paper number 1 is going to be 3 mats. Designer paper number 2, I am only going to cut 3 mats out of designer paper number 2. The other one I'm going to use from the mat pack. And then we have our designer paper number 3, which we're going to cut our borders and have those 5 by 3s, which we are going to be using for the banners here. So now let's get started. So really doesn't matter which one. We know that we're going to take these 2 sheets of paper for designer paper 1 and 2, and we're going to cut these at 4 by 6. This is already 6-inch paper, and I will just double check that. And we are going to be using this line here, so it is, and we're going to be cutting 3 4x6s. So we will be 1, 2, 3. So we have that set of mats, and they're not really mats, it's going to be what we build our page with. So now I'm down to designer paper number 3. So I'm going to get my punch. Now I have this 2-inch piece left over, and it says we're going to cut them 2x12, punch the border, then cut. What I'm going to show you, which you may or may not know, is when I put this into my punch, you can't see where the edge is and where the black line is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a Post-it note, and I'm going to line the Post-it note up at the end of my paper. So now when I put it in, I can see, and I can see where that black line is with my Post-it note, right? So you can kind of hopefully see the black line there. So I'm going to line it up that way. This way I can use these little scraps of paper in the punches. And again, lining this one up. And I can take my Post-it note off at any time. And that's just a way for me to use up this little scrap of paper that I had instead of having to get out another sheet, since I have a lot of leftovers. So going back while I'm cutting this, so for designer paper number 1 and 2, as I said, if you liked both sides of your paper, you could just use one paper for that and just cut 6 of them. Okay, I'll get rid of this, and that's 1. And then I'm going to cut 2 more, and I do have a sheet of paper left. And I'll get my punch, and we'll cut 2 more borders. And then this one you have to line up the 2 bumps between here, making sure we don't overlap. There's no little triangle on this one to line up to. But at least the pattern repeats, and there's always 2 bumps in between. Oh, see, I must have double punched something. Okay, now I can cut this right now at 2 inches. And let me just see if this one, remember when we cut, sometimes we're not right at 2 inches. So this is actually 1 5/8 after you cut it. 1 3/4 actually, 1 5/8 to the big piece. So I'm going to cut that on the left hand side. So I am actually 1 5/8. I mean, it wouldn't matter if I went to 2 inches. The other one's a little bigger because they're going to overlap, so it doesn't matter. And then we're going to cut 1 more. How much paper do I have left? Because I need a 5-inch piece. It's okay because I do have these 2 pieces cut out. So not a problem with this if I don't have enough paper left over, because I do have 2 of my 5x3s already cut out. So because with that one you are using almost the entire sheet of paper there. And again, the way that I'm going to do it using a mat, I will only need 2 of those for the banner. The third one will kind of be your journaling box. And I'll show you again when we get to mine how mine looks. It's a little crooked there. I want to keep it straight since they're lining up on top of each other. Okay. So I can get rid of that and clean up, and then we will put this together and talk about some optional ways of doing these. So according to the project recipe, and I want to kind of build it the same way as my other 2 pages. So I have a pink one here, and I have a pink one here. kind of see the project recipe. Let me move this over again. See if I can get it all here. So I have a pink one there, a pink one there, and then I have, I'm not going to put a blue, I'm going to put a blue here and here, and I have a pink over here, and I can either use this one or I can use a matte, and that's what I did in the other one. Let's see if I have, this might not be the one I want, but see, this is where I put a matte, and I'll show you that page, right? So that is instead of this matte. So you could use that 4x6 that we cut, or you can use a matte. So all this is going to do, let me get out a bunch of 4x6s, and let's get this page. So all you're going to do is put pictures in here, and they're just going to fill in the spots, which is why you actually don't even need 12 mats. You would only need 6 mats and 6 photos, and then we're going to layer that border. Right, so this is the project recipe. So the only thing we need to do is take these 2 pieces, which are 3 inches. We're going to mark it at 1.5 inches. You can fold whatever you want to do. Fold it in half. I'm just going to do that. It's my way. Everybody has a different way of doing it. And we're going to make the banners, and I want the banners to be the same. And so just like both my banners will be the same if I cut them together. And one banner can go over here for journaling, and then one banner can go on this side for journaling. And then we're just going to put our borders. So let me bring these 2 pages that I have previously done, right? So there we are with just the photos in between so that you can see it's exactly the same page. Used a sticker border down here at the bottom. And the only other thing we're going to do now is make this border. So we do have to cut all of these in half, which I didn't do yet. So let me get those. Oh, I didn't even cut this one off. So let me get my trimmer and let's do that. So, and I'm sure you were all telling me that I didn't have it cut. So we're going to cut that. This is extra. I guess we did have enough. Yeah, we would have had enough left over, but that's good. I have those 2 banners cut. I'm just going to put these all together, and we're going to cut these at 6 inches, and then we're going to build them. So I just want to make sure they're all lined up. And we will cut this at 6 inches. So everybody's having a good summer so far. Line those up 6 inches. Okay, so let's get out our repositionable tape and my silicone mat. And what we do with these is we are just going to overlap them. So as you can see, I'm going to get the blue one. One will go at the top. Actually, this one will go underneath. So if you attach them first like this. So what I'll do is put repo on the bottom one. Use this to help me line up. At least I'm still in camera. I'm going to put this one on top, and I'll line that up. And then you'll take those 2 pieces. So it looks like 2 layers of lace. You may not be able to see this second layer. And I actually have it taped down pretty good with repo. Right. So, but it does give the dimension there. If you wanted only 1 layer, you could just put 1 layer. And then I did put repo at the bottom. So you're going to do this for 3 of them. So you're going to have lace on the 2 blue ones. We're going to do 4 actually. You're going to do these 2, and these 2 will have the lace on it. Let me bring back. Right? So as and let's so you can build those. I'll build mine and come back and show you, but I wanted to show you something else that I did. This photo, I didn't put a photo, and actually that's how it shows it here. They do show you using, if you go back to Citrus Summer, they do actually show you using a mat in this spot and how this photo is offset here. So we do need one more mat. Okay, welcome back. I think I had a little glitch, so let me go back and talk about the things that I think you missed and where you're at. So we have cut our 3 borders, and we cut them in half at 2 inches. When we look back at the project recipe, you'll have one of those lace borders up here, one lace border down here, one up here. We're going to attach one in case I was off camera when I was recording or not recording. You will need one more mat for this location, because this photo actually lays over top. And in this spot that I have a mat, they actually use one of those mats that we cut. So there would be 2 4x6s here, 3 4x6 photos. You can either use a mat from the mat pack or one of our 4x6s. You have 2 4x6s here, a mat in here, 2 photos, one of our 4x6s, and then this photo will overlap. So let me put one more of these together in case I wasn't on camera when I did it last time. So we will put some repo on the bottom of that. Then this one will overlap. So I overlapped it, if you're using this one, this punch, so that you can see the dots underneath. And again, you can see it more up close, like than trying to show you on the camera. You can't see a lot of the lace. It just gives that overlap effect of it. And again, depending on what punch you're using will be what kind of effect that you're getting here. And let's just do this last one. So I'll do the same thing. Repo to the rescue. We will build that and then attach it. So again, if you want to use up just mats that you have in a mat pack, you would need 6 mats, actually 7 including this one, 7 mats, 6 photos, build it on 12 by 12 white cardstock, and this is a way to use up mats that you have in a mat pack to actually complete a page and use some of your leftovers. So let's get the completed page. I'm going to be redoing it exactly like this. This one is from Summer Days, I think. It's not from this, or Sweet Summer, this sticker, but it kind of brought in all the colors. So the second page will be just like this one. So hopefully this video wasn't too choppy, that I didn't mess it up too much. But thanks for joining me today. Happy scrapping, and we'll see you all again soon. Make sure you post your completed page on my Scrapbook with Denise Facebook page. That's where my completed pages will be. So we'll see you all again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.